The number of local journalists in the U.S. has declined 75% since 2002, and whether you realize it or not, it's having an impact on your life in several ways.
We knew there was a local news crisis, but the scale of it was shocking, and how widespread it was a little bit surprising.
A new report from Rebuild Local News and Muckrack took a unique look at the decline, not just focusing on the number of journalists, but the ratio with respect to an area's population. On average, there are only 8.2 local journalists per 100,000 people across the country. The data revealing this issue isn't just a rural one, but something even the biggest media markets in the country are dealing with.
Someone who was covering a county government is now covering 4 counties, plus everything else that they're doing. And it's just, inevitable that that's going to mean that they're, spending less time per story, less time on the stories. And that's going to mean they're more superficial.
Take a look at this map. When you break down the numbers, it's clear most of the country is now lacking in local journalism. More than 1,000 counties don't even have the equivalent of a single full-time journalist. And that lack of resources impacts the quality of information you receive. William O'Neill spent 45 years as a local news reporter, mostly in the Piedmont Triad area of North Carolina. He focused on politics and noticed the number of reporters at the state capitol in Raleigh dwindled over the years.
North Carolina has a budget of more than $30 billion a year, and we have a handful of reporters covering that beat. It just doesn't make any sense. Our lives are being dictated by, a group of people down at the legislature who are controlling the money, controlling voting, controlling all kinds of things for their political advantage. And we just don't have the people there anymore who are covering it. And I think it's a shame.
While TV newsrooms have seen their share of cuts, newspapers have been hit the hardest. Many have been bought up by larger corporations and hedge funds. A study from Harvard University found that of the 672 major daily newspapers, 382 are owned by just 7 companies. Among those companies, Alden Global Capital, which Baltimore Banner reporter Kaylee Doyle described like this.
A pretty nasty hedge fund group that has a reputation for buying up local newspapers, bleeding them dry, and, just excavating whatever profit they can get out of them.
Their business model is not to improve the service to communities. They're squeezing these things to get as much profit out of them as they can on the way down.
The lack of local journalism costs communities in several different ways.
We as a public are suffering. Any kind of a good government needs to have journalism. It's a part of our democracy, and we're just doing, I think, a lesser job than we ever did.
That are things like you don't have the information to know who to vote for. There's more corruption. There's all sorts of studies that have shown if you don't have local news, you have more corruption and worse city services and lower bond ratings, even higher taxes, less civic participation, things like that.
A report from Bloomberg found government costs increased in cities where newspapers closed, mostly through municipal and revenue bonds. Those are often used by cities to pay for big public works projects. While local journalism can save the public money, it also requires money to be done, which makes the solution to this issue complicated.
The reality is that some of this really should just be viewed as a civic good, as something that just has to happen for the health of a community.
I think that investing in untraditional or non-traditional ideas of what news is going to be the thing that saves this industry. It's the people who want to be innovative, the people who see how information is delivered now, whether that's through influencers on TikTok and these little bite-sized nuggets. Like, we have to adapt.
For Straight Arrow News, I'm Lauren Keenan. For more unbiased straight facts, download the Straight Arrow News app or visit SAN.com.